Hi, Misha here, and for our last Cat Wings episode, we have quite a unique aircraft. This is Northrop Grumman's X-47, and this is the B, X-47B UCAV, Unmanned Combat Aerial Vehicle. Now, this is not a production plane, this is a prototype, but a very successful one for all of that. And a very interesting and very different naval aircraft compared with the rest we've done. And as we always do, let's go over to today's cat sponsor. Earl, the disappointing cat that never does what you want when you want him to do it, but is still always around and underfoot. Also, he loves raw chicken for some reason. Earl! Alrighty. So what did Northrop Grumman come up with? This is a full-size vehicle. It's unmanned, remote operated. It is a drone of sorts, but it's a 38 feet tip to tip. With the wings deployed, it's 62 feet wingspan, and with them folded up, it's 30. So nice and compact for carrier. As you see, it's very thin. Doesn't need a cockpit. It is subsonic, but just barely. It can get up to 0.9 Mach. And it has a ceiling of about 42,000 feet. And this is armed, or at least it can be. It has 2 internal weapons bays. They can carry various types of modern missiles and bombs. This all began back in 2000 when the Navy awarded contracts to both Boeing and Northrop Grumman to develop combat vehicles that were unmanned, semi-autonomous as they were called. And quickly Grumman shot ahead, first introducing the X-47A Pegasus in 2003, which did successfully fly. However, that program was defunded in 2006, but Northrop would continue development, and the first X-47B would roll out of the factory at the very end of 2008. It was originally planned to fly it in 2009, but various delays and bureaucracies in the Navy and last-minute changes meant the X-47B, the first prototype, AB-1, did not fly until February of 2011, with the second prototype, AB-2, flying in November of that same year. So we had 2 functional prototypes. In 2012, they would begin simulated carrier operations on land as well as other tests. And then in 2013, they would take this on board actual carriers, eventually getting around to doing takeoffs, catapult takeoffs, and touch-and-go type landings, as well as full arrested landings. Then they would try operating these with piloted aircraft around, and August of 2014. One of these would fly in formation in a wing with an FA-18. They would also do night flights, try it out, fly it at night. And then finally they would kind of push the envelope and go for automated aerial refueling. All of this was successful, and actually, all things considered how complex a vehicle this is, it all went surprisingly well. Both prototypes survived to this very day. Neither was lost or destroyed. Of course, there were a few setbacks along the way, but nothing egregious. Really, for what it was remarkably successful. They flew well over 100 missions, or test missions, I should say. Originally, this was worked as a surveillance and strike aircraft. Later, it was kind of reconfigured into a reconnaissance and aerial refueling aircraft, with strike kind of a secondary role. Originally, they were planning on putting both prototypes in a museum after testing was declared complete in May of 2015, but this didn't happen. Instead, Grumman continued to work with it through 2016, and then in 2017, it would be flown cross-country back to where it came from, and so on and so forth. And this would also lead to the proposed X-47C. Now, not as everything goes that smoothly, mostly politics and funding, but the craft itself honestly operated very successfully. Pretty much they ran it through all the paces they could figure. Again, this is not a production vehicle, but honestly, it could have been. It shows the potential future of naval aviation. At least one potential future. Only time will really tell, of course. And there aren't many models of drones, naval drones like this. And when I had a chance to pick one of these up, I just thought it'd be kind of neat. This is from Air Force One. It is 1/72 scale. Air Force One has some good and bad points. For one, they don't always hide their screw heads very well, so that's kind of a bummer. But they do make their stuff almost entirely from metal, including the wings. Even like the doors that go on the underside are made of metal, which is nice. Most everyone else uses plastic. This does have the option for landing gear up or down. It also has the option for the tail hook in the back to be up or down. And it has weapon bay doors that you can have open or closed, and when they're open it displays, I think they're sidewinders inside, but it has armament inside. And it's just a very heavy plane. Maybe not quite as heavy as a Corgi. I think Air Force One has a bit of hollowness in the middle, whereas Corgi would be solid, but it's still a very durable feeling craft, and even the stand is metal, and it plugs into the stand very well with two pegs. It's not at all wobbly. And Air Force One models aren't as expensive as Hobbymaster, so value-wise they're not too shabby at all. So while this may not be exactly what our Navy ends up going to in 2020 and beyond, it is a Grumman, and it very well could be the start of a whole new project. especially for penetrating enemy airspace for reconnaissance, surveillance, and not putting a human directly in risk. Now, the idea of arming something like this, well, that's been a hot button topic for the past 10 years or so, as we've had more and more Predator-type drones armed with things like Hellfire missiles, but I don't know. Both sides of the argument do make a good bit of sense. But we're not here to debate ethics, morality. This is a pretty light-hearted channel for hobbies, so we'll leave all that heavy stuff to another day and time. To be honest, I kind of left all that behind in college. I had a lot of, at least what we thought of as in-depth discussions back in the day in college, and I'm sure we thought we were being intellectual and deep, and we probably were been, but I don't know, sometimes just kind of spinning your wheels. What I know is this is a neat model that kind of is special in my collection. I actually found this at a nice outfit over in Tennessee, Showcase Toy. I don't see these in stock at many other places. So yeah, the Northrop Grumman X-47B UCAV. And there you have it, folks. You got to see 7 Grumman planes brought to you by our 7 felines. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this series. Any questions or comments, please do post them below. If you could, like, share, and subscribe. And if you haven't, check out some of my other videos, maybe, if you have time. If not, it's okay too. Either way, I appreciate you tuning into this one. And this is Misha. And I'll be back very soon with another, hopefully lighthearted and fun series of some type. Just as soon as I think about what it should be. I will catch you very soon.